I wasn't recording the audio. I spoke a bunch and I didn't record any of the audio. Alright guys, welcome back to another thrilling episode of Why is Blank Blank, the show where we talk about why blank is blank. And this blank is gonna be why is Kipo, the Age of the Wonderbeasts, a story about two worlds. And when I talk about this, I really want to make sure I preface that I say that it's season 1. Season 2 and 3 are also about two different worlds, and there's a lot of comparing and contrasting going on, but for this video, I'm just going to talk about season 1. If you've never seen Kipo, the Age of the Wonderbeasts, you're missing out, man. You're just missing out. It's a really good show, and you just are missing out. So I would recommend to you, if you're watching this video right now, and you're thinking, because that's what people do. That's what people do. That's what I do. I would recommend that you just go watch it right now. It was such a good show. It almost had this Ghibli vibe where it kind of felt like you're invited into this beautiful mystical world. There's a lot of reasons why the show's really, really good. You could talk about all the characters that are really phenomenal. You could talk about the environment, which is such an interesting environment. You just like this world that you're introduced to, you just want to know more about. You meet all these crazy people. But at the end of the day, what I would say makes this show very, very, very good is all those things, but an emphasis on comparing and contrasting two separate characters. I want to talk about two separate characters in season 1 of this show, Kipo and Wolf. Anyways, enough of me talking about what I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about. So without further ado, why don't you check out Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeast, season 1, the story of two worlds.
I'm just going to come out and say it. Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts season 1 is about Kipo and Wolf. That's not to say that there aren't other really important and complex characters in this TV show. Scarlemang, Jamek, Kipo's dad, these are really super interesting characters and really complex stories that bring them together. I mean, you'd have to talk about the Timbercats, the Fitness Raccoons, the Mod Frogs, the Wolves, and so much more. But what I really believe when you get to the very core of what makes this show so special is the competing perspectives and the worldviews of Kipo and Wolf. We meet Kipo at what we find out later to be an escape from an attack on her own people, but you would never know it. Kipo is immediately entranced by the brand new world she just stumbled upon. Being from the underground, she's never seen any of this post-apocalyptic world above the surface. She befriends a pig she's just met. She puts a wardrobe fitting on just for herself, and she isn't scared at all of the Mega Bunny babies. It's her lighthearted nature that draws her in to want to know more. She's naturally trusting, and she sees everything as an opportunity. The first thing we learn about Kipo is that she sees beauty in the world. And shortly afterwards, we meet the total embodiment of the opposite of everything that Kipo is. We meet Wolf. Wolf is a loner, a scavenger, making it all on her own. She's skeptical of everyone, human or mute. She's strong. She knows the world she lives in. And she's always reminded us she works alone. She takes pity on Kipo, who in her eyes is weakness. To Wolf, Kipo is everything that gets you stepped on, neglected, and killed. She's too trusting. She's too peaceful. She doesn't believe for a second that Kipo has any of the skills necessary to find her lost family, especially in this hostile world. And so she agrees to help her. And even though she shows kindness by doing this, what we've learned about Wolf is that she's on the run from anything that can hurt her. And the beauty of the story is that these two have to continue to navigate their competing worldviews over and over again. What happened when the gang is running from the Mod Frogs and Benson and Dave are captured and Kipo and Wolf escape? Wolf wants to leave them and Kipo wants to go back. What happens when they run into the Timbercats? Kipo wants to build an alliance with them and Wolf wants to avoid them altogether. And what happens when Kipo and Wolf are trapped in Cactus Town by the snakes? Wolf's plan is to attack and Kipo's plan is to play guitar for them. Wolf's plans almost always involve avoidance and only when necessary violence. But she's awestruck. She's totally flabbergasted by this new way of approaching the world around her. Kipo's plans are far from perfect, and they oftentimes get the gang in trouble that requires the keen wit of Wolf, but they are led by the conviction that love can overcome. After Kipo and Wolf make their way deep into Cactus Town, they find a hotel that they think might be where Kipo's family is. This hotel is guarded by a giant mutant monkey, which stands in the way of Kipo finally reuniting with her family and her father. With the Timbercats at their back, they make war with the great ape. But not Kipo, who sings a song that she's learned from her father, which is the anthem of Kipo's whole approach to life. Find out later that Wolf's whole life up until now has betrayed any sense of trust and love that she's ever had. She's turned into a high-walled person, scared to trust. And in front of her is Kipo, someone who is unforgivingly optimistic, someone who is convinced that love is always the most effective tool. Kipo's whimsical nature is so obscure to Wolf, and though at times she's annoyed by it, she's attracted to it more and more every day. And when confronted with the belief that finding Kipo's family means an end to their relationship, Wolf does the same thing that she's done her whole life. She runs away. She runs away at first by hiding the note that Kipo's father left for her, and then she runs away a second time when she finds out that Kipo is part mute. Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts Season 1 is a story of two competing worldviews, building bridges and burning bridges. An optimistic view that people are good, relationships are good, and peace is always better than violence, versus the skeptical view that someone else may have it in for you. You're safer on your own, and relationships are a risk not worth having. TV shows can be simple, but they invite us into bigger questions about our lives and what we are as human beings. Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts demonstrates Kipo and Wolf as two distinct perspectives acted out by two separate characters. But what I find in my own life, and what I believe is true for many of us, is that internally we are both Wolf and Kipo. We both have times when we're overcome by the beauty of the world we embark on. We can be trusting for a season and embrace the whimsical nature embodied in Kipo in the show. And we also all experience times of fear, building walls, and skepticism at an all-time high. And although there's wisdom in knowing when to step back and to carefully contemplate a game plan, we need to hold tightly into the inner Kipo, believing that we can love and can be loved. Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts is a beautiful show that asks us to reflect on one of the biggest internal questions that we can ever ask ourselves.
That was season 1 of Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts. I don't know, I have a squiggly chair and I just like to spin. It's very fun. It's very fun to squiggle on a squiggly chair. Alright, that was season 1 of Kipo and the Age of the Wonderbeasts. And what's really interesting about this show is that season 2 and 3 also continues to contrast two different characters, different each time. And so in Kipo season 2 and Kipo season 3, it's Kipo and a different character and then Kipo and another character in the third season too. And so I want to make those videos too. I want to make sure you guys know and love it though before I start making that content. So give this video a thumbs up. Let me know that you like this sort of thing. We'll follow up with a season 2 and a season 3 one if you guys show me that you really are interested in this sort of stuff. And then other than that, guys, you know what it is. You are the best. You're the greatest. You are like top 10 people. If you, everyone you know in your life, think of 9 other people, you're number 1 of those 10. You and those 9, you're number 1. And then maybe like your mom and stuff can be number 2, I guess. Anyways, you're really cool. You're really awesome. Let's have a great day. You're great. I've just complimented you a lot. So please subscribe. Hot stuff!